Alright, so we're back with the Highboy project, and it's slowly spiraling, but I'm gonna keep it under control. So we have the rotating assembly. In the last video, we pulled this thing apart. This is our 460. This is our drivetrain for this thing. Pulled it apart and everything looks fairly good on this side. So you can see all the bearings look good. They're not in too bad a shape. Rod bearings and everything else really didn't come out too bad. So if you want to see us pull this thing apart and kind of find everything as we go, I have a link to that right up here. You can check it out. And don't forget to subscribe. You know, I see a lot of guys watching these videos, they haven't subscribed yet. So definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss all the notifications on this project and many more. Stick around, we got a lot of cool stuff with this truck. So coming with that, this is all looking good. But the block was the issue. So looking into this thing, on a couple of the cylinders, I'll overlay some shots, it had water in it, and the water ended up, you know, basically pitting out the cylinder just enough to where, you know, when I measured it all, I was about 3 thousandths over, and then on the top of that, I have a 2 to 3 thousandths piston and wall clearance. So overall, the consensus was it's gonna burn oil, and I have to bore this motor. Sure, I could have slapped it together and ran it, but that's just because I know it's gonna run doesn't mean it's gonna run well, and that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a nice truck. Like I said at the beginning of the series, this is a $10,000 fully built truck. A couple of you guys were asking if that includes the price of it. That does. So I'll give you a basic price rundown right here. So we have the truck I paid $1,000 for. That was a 2-wheel drive, one owner. It looked like a 1 or 2 owner truck. It was very original. I paid $700 for this chassis. This chassis it's sitting on is a 77 Highboy chassis. This was a 250 2-wheel drive converted to a 4-wheel drive. It's on a later model chassis. It's still considered a Highboy. The only thing that really changes is the frame underneath. Bodies are identical. So the chassis on the dent side is a little bit wider in the back, but we'll get to that. The steering kit, that runs you about $1,800 from Benchworks. And if you use my code Craig75, they'll save you $75 off any kit over $1,000. So that'll save you some money there. And so we're still under our we're way under 5,000, and we have a drivetrain. This motor came with this truck. So that was something that was in the bed. And like I was making the joke last time, I was like, if you bought a big pile of stuff and all this stuff comes with it, everything is just free, right? That's how that works. So this is the same price as the $1,000 I paid for the truck and everything else. So we didn't really have to spend any more money on the engine. So everything right here is currently free. But the downside is all the math that I did to do everything on the motor. If you're gonna go through a motor, machine work alone and basic bearings and seals and parts, you're usually gonna end up being a little bit above $1,000, which that was a big shot in the budget. I wasn't really looking forward to that. So what I did was went on our favorite place, Facebook Marketplace, and I got a bunch of really, really cool parts, which I'm about to lay out and show you. Went and got a haircut, now I got no hair, but I went on Facebook Marketplace and we picked up all of this goodness. So what you see here is an entire rotating assembly for a 460 that's already balanced and already bored over, and it's a set of forged pistons hung on stock rods. So some guys get really afraid of using used engine parts. If you know what you're looking at, usually you can basically make one guy's trash another man's treasure, because a lot of guys take motors apart and then everything ends up being automatically trashed. That's not the case, especially if it isn't blown up or anything. This motor, I talked to the guy, I was in a boat, it had oil consumption issues out of the cylinder. So it had the exact same issue as this setup because of the tapered bore in the block. So it was worn out, cylinder rings weren't sealing properly. So he pulled it apart, ended up doing some crazy stroker motor, all this stuff sat. So I got everything you see here for $300, and I'll kind of go over it. So what we have right here is a factory crank that's already been polished. It's standard still. We've already mic'd and checked everything. It has a double roller timing chain that still looks like it's in good shape. It's got the fuel pump eccentric. It's got a Holley fuel pressure regulator. He has this massive comp custom grind cam. This is a 248 at 50. It's massive. It's 107 intake centerline. I was doing all the research on it because I had to call comp to get it custom. This is a custom grind. He had this thing ground. And it's a 659 lift, so it's big. Its power curve is like 3,500 to like 6,200, which makes sense. It was in a boat. That's not what we're going to use in this truck. We have another cam on the way, which I'll show you at the end of the video. We have a bunch more parts coming in, so stay down the end if you want to see the entire setup. We'll have it all done and machined. But everything you see here, it's all 40 over, and these are forged pistons, which, like I said, are hung on stock rods. So I did that every which way, but you can probably see right here. It might be hard to see, but so these are a set of 40 over forged Speed Pro pistons. You can see the part number right there. It's got the 40 over, and then the F stands for forged. Now you can also see these are hung on a set of D6 factory Ford rods. So this is already done. It's already got a good set of rod bolts in it with ARP nuts you can see on the end there. So this is a pretty good setup already ready to go in the truck. And I've done this every which way. So the cheapest set of basic Silverlight cast pistons that you can buy is about $202. And if you know anyone with a rod heater, you can swap them for free, but usually that can be anywhere from $200 to $300+ to have somebody heat up your rods and swap your pistons out. Depends on your machine shop for the rate that they would charge you for that. But where I was going, it was going to be pretty much $500+ to get the cheapest set of pistons I could find that are cast and have them swapped over. This is already done. And on top of that, if you swap your pistons, your piston weight is very specific to your balance. Now this entire setup has already been balanced, and you can tell because they've added into the crank weight right here. So they've welded in weight, ground it, and then they've drilled into it over here as well to balance this thing. So this has already been balanced. So that's another thing that I don't have to pay for. So like I keep saying with this budget thing, if I can find it and I can use it for cheaper, that's what I'm gonna do. So I didn't do anything special. I just went on Marketplace, looked at 460 stuff. I found 3 photos, just like a bunch of parts in a box. I said big block Ford, asked if it was FE or 460, said 460, said I'll come look at it. This is what I found. So you never know, you might get lucky. It was actually a really, really good find. I'm very, very happy about it. And you can see he actually had all of the valve springs, the double valve springs for this cam, as well as an extra set of valves and these massive trick flow push rods and a full set of push-in or screw-in studs. So it was a whole setup. And this is obviously like a lot of money and stuff if you've ever built a motor. If you're gonna buy all this stuff new, you're into the thousands pretty quick. So definitely a really good find, but obviously you don't have to do that. You could spend sub 500 bucks or around 500 bucks to get a good set of pistons, and then you're into just basic machine work. So with all that being said, now we're gonna go see Ethan down at JBA, bring all this stuff down there, get it all machined, and get it back in the block.
Hello?
Howdy, sir.
Hey, I'm taking a test right now, actually, so I'll be at JBA in a little bit.
Okay, I'll get your education. Let me know what time.
Alright, at 12 is fine. I'll meet you there at 12.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll just meet you at the Friendly at 12, I guess.
Oh, we're getting food first.
Yeah.
I bet.
See ya.
Bye.
He was definitely pooping.
I thought, he said he's taking a test. I think he was taking a test on pooping. That was definitely a poop. Go. So I'm just kind of getting everything prepped to go to the machine shop, and look at this. This is our rear main seal. Not really going to seal very well when it's hard as a rock. This just came out of here. So no matter what, you know, there's a lot of people that said just run it. If you were just going to run this, it would have leaked oil all out of the back of the motor, and it would have burned it out of the top. So all of this would have been an oil burning nightmare. So I'm glad we're doing this. A strong tailgate, man.
What?
Perfect.
Nice stance.
You like that? That's certified don't mess your back up stance. All right, made it down to the best place ever, JBA Speed Shop. That's where I get all my machine work done locally here in SoCal. I have Ethan.
Hey guys, nice to see you again.
Again. Yeah. We have pretty much everything here. Like I said, I got a whole setup. It's already balanced. We're gonna use the crank that was in the box. Bore hone deck, and what else?
Yeah, we're gonna bore, hone, deck it, and polish the crank, and I think that should be it. Craig bought me a rotating assembly that was already supposed to be balanced, so we're just gonna trust that for the sake of money.
Yeah.
And of course re-ring it too.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I'm really gonna have to buy parts-wise. That's why I did this instead of buying, you know, because if I bought just pistons, the downside is I have to pay him to torch the rod and swap the rods over, because these are a press fit rod and they don't have a wrist bend like a lot of newer rods. This is free floating, that's the style, right?
Yeah, free floating is not press fit.
Yeah, so these are press fit, so that was kind of a downside. So that's a process. So that alone usually costs as much as a cheaper set of pistons. So it's like, the fact that these are already swapped made everything way easier. But you can still do that if you have to. So either way, that's gonna work. So the only thing I actually have to buy is just get rings and bearings for everything. We're gonna keep it standard. Like I said, we're just gonna polish the crank. We're not cutting it, just checking everything. And we're just gonna get the bore. The bore is standard right now. We're gonna go past 20 and 30 straight to 40, because these are what I have. There's no reason to change it from there. And then he will, because this is a forged piston, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a forged piston, not a hyper, so it's gonna expand differently. Hyper expands more, correct?
Well, it depends on the brand, but a lot of times you have to like gap the rings all weird, and you have to set somewhat of a bigger piston wall clearance. With forged, you usually go like 3 to 4.5 thou.
Yeah, it's just pretty standard at that. So, but the good thing is, usually you can tell in a machine shop, yeah, I got a 30 over piston, bore it. The problem with that is, like I said, the different types of pistons will all expand differently. So you need to know if you have a cast piston, hyper, forged, whatever it is. A hypertectic piston is gonna expand way more than like a forged or a cast piston probably would. So those are all things where if you just have a random machine shop, just, oh yeah, 30 over, and that's as far as you go, your piston wall becomes really a problem. That's where you see a lot of guys ruin the skirts on these pistons and a lot of the cylinder bores because they're too tight. So he'll be able to bore this correctly to that piston, you know, calculate for, I guess, expansion rate, and then bore the block correctly. So it might be 40 over 0.01 or whatever, plus or minus a couple thousand to get the correct piston and wall clearance. That's what Ethan's gonna do and make sure that this is not gonna burn oil, and it's actually gonna seal the rings pretty well. So I'm gonna drop that off with him for a little bit, get this thing cleaned up, ready to go, and then when it's back in my shop, we should be able to put the entire short block back together. But yeah. All right, we're getting after it on this block. Man, this thing's got, excited to see or something. It's got a lot of poop coming out of it. On the bottom side, so that's great. Got freeze plugs out of the bottom. You see all the crap that fell out of this thing. It's pretty nasty. What? Trying to talk about my 460, brothers. So that's how you do it. Wow, that makes it look so easy.
Okay, so I'm putting it in this block fixture, which I use to deck and bore. It basically, the angle of this, when you lay it down on this side or this side, you put this bar through it and you let all the main caps, wherever they meet this bar, you all slide them down on there, and then it'll perfectly set up your block 90 degrees straight up so you can deck and bore it.
Oh, nice. Well,
and a lot of times, since these are like very high production blocks and engines and they've been produced for a long time, they're not always perfect from the factory.
Yeah.
And with this fixture, I kind of see all those imperfections. Like a lot of times maybe the deck on this side is 10 to 20 thousandths taller or shorter than the other side, or maybe even though I have it perfectly level, it'll only cut this side while it's going and not cut this side. So I see all kinds of inconsistencies. So with this machine and this fixture, it's why would you not deck your block and true it up, because you're gonna have to put it in the boring bar anyways.
Yeah, I see. So this is your initial cut, so this will bring it from 10, 20, 30 over, and then you do your hone after that and polish it out, right?
Yeah. Cool. So, well, I'm gonna deck it first.
Yeah.
So I'll deck it and get the surface nice and straight and even with each other.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll bring it into the boring bar and do my rough cut for whatever oversized piston we're going to.
Sweet.
Which usually is about 5 thousandths under whatever the final bore size is.
Oh, I see. And then you finish it in the hone.
Yeah.
Got it.
I measured here and I set this dial indicator to 90 over here, just so that way when I move it over I know it's not going to hit the block.
Yeah.
And then when I brought it down here, it looks like this side of the deck is, it's like this. So
it's down.
Actually this side's higher, my bad. So this side's higher and this side's lower, which we're going to take care of that right now. When I cut this block, you'll see it'll probably only start hitting this side from here, this way, until I eventually clean it up. So it's not touching yet. It might clean up some of the gaskets and stuff on top of it, but you'll probably hear it start to change sound from here down.
So that's where it's off, huh? A little higher on this side?
Yeah, like I said, from the factory, a lot of these, it doesn't matter what manufacturer it is, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, they're never perfect. The machines they use to cut them in the factory are very violent, and it's meant to go quickly and be good enough. But when you're building performance engines or you're actually like doing stuff on your own, it's nice to get it all trued up and straight.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it.
You'll be able to see a little bit.
Yeah.
So what I'll do now is bring it down a couple thou.
So you do about 3 thousandths at a time, right?
2 to 3, yeah, with cast iron. Since it was about like 5 thousandths off from this side to this side, I have to make a few passes for it to actually get clean. Yeah.
Oh yeah, now you can really see how much higher the one side was. Because it's cutting true and flat. So yeah, this was definitely like 2 or 3 thousandths off. Yeah, it's nice shiny. Dang, is that even the same motor? You can still the rust still in the cylinders.
You can see yourself in there.
Ah, it's pretty nice. You can do your makeup in there.
Yeah.
Alright, so this one's way different. One side's done, we're moving to the other side, and you said this side's higher or lower?
Yeah, this side is 10 thousandths higher than the other side.
Oh, great. So that means you have to cut 10 thousandths just to get it at 0, and then we cut what off the other side? So essentially where we're at is we're probably gonna end up having to cut 20 thousandths off the deck to square it and cut both sides, which will be good. Pump the compression up a little bit, which will be nice. The piston won't be so far down in the hole. Because I think usually these things are 30 thousandths and change, sometimes even as much as 40 thousandths in the hole on a stock piston, which will definitely kind of help this thing out, I think, for sure. But yeah, we're gonna square this side. But this side was higher, right?
This side is a little higher.
Yeah, a little higher. So we're gonna have to cut it a little bit more just to get to 0 again, and then cut the same as the other side to match them. So yeah, never know. Check your blocks. You never know when they might be a little bit one side or the other. Because if you run a lot of the Felpro kits, if you get a gasket kit from O'Reilly's, those head gaskets are sometimes as much as 49 thousandths thick when they're compressed. It's a lot of material, so it soaks up for the air on these things. If they're 10 thou one way or the other, that gasket's gonna soak that up. You'll never notice. But in our case, we're gonna make sure it's perfect from the beginning. So how much are you doing the initial like 3 thousandths cut?
Yeah, I'm gonna go steps of 3 or 2 thousandths until I get to 10.
Yeah, and that's already cutting it. So do you think it's not gonna touch the end? Like it's on level again?
No, this side's better. It'll cut.
Yeah? So look at that. So obviously you can measure it, but now you can really see one side of the deck was just slightly higher. Because you can see that right side's like fully cut. And it didn't even really touch this. And this was our initial 2 or 3 thousandths cut to get it basically to 0. So you can see it's just slightly unlevel. But if you had a big thick head gasket, you would never know. Wow, look at that nice shiny deck.
That's a nice deck.
Thanks for making my deck shiny.
That's a nice polished deck.
We love ourselves a polished deck.
A nice straight deck.
Yeah, there we go. So to get it all square, you have to take another, what, 5 off the other side?
I think 10.
But this side was higher, so we just went 20 around on both of them, essentially is what we're doing. Which should get the piston much closer to the deck. I'm not trying to go for a perfect 0 deck. It's a truck motor. You know, truck motors doesn't really matter. This thing's gonna probably run on 87, be very, very like mellow. Probably make a little over 400 horsepower. It's not gonna be too crazy. But like with these small blocks, you gotta pinch every bit you can get because the stroke length is so short. So those ones you really gotta try to get a 0 deck. And that's what we did on the small blocks.
Every inch counts, man.
All of them. All
even the thousandths of an inch.
Yeah, even the thousandths count.
I'd take an extra thou. Would you?
Yeah, I would. Next on the engine show, he's gonna enlarge my holes. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And that's the show. So essentially what we have to do here is this is a standard bore. The pistons are 40 over. You can cut about 20 at a time on this machine, so we'll have to do 2 passes at 20, but he's gonna finish it in the hone, so he's gonna do 17 on the second pass. So 20, 17, 37 thousandths, do 3 thousandths in the hone, and should be good to go. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah. You know, I like my tolerances pretty tight.
You got it. Never mind. It's not even.
I wanted to actually point something out about these Mopar blocks that I thought was pretty interesting. Honestly, they really make really good chairs for when you're sitting down and trying to machine a Ford block and make some real power out of one of them. This is actually a cool engine. It's a 392 first gen Hemi that I'm gonna machine for my friend Marco.
There you go. But it is a nice temporary chair.
It is. It works well.
Thanks, Dodge. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep.
Look at the stance. Look at that machinist stance. After all that, we're halfway done. I was gonna say, so that's like actually got teeth.
Carbide tip.
And then this thing is just a stone. It's like a stone hone.
I usually go a couple ups and downs in the rough stone just to get it a little rough.
A couple of ups and downs in the hole.
Yeah, and then I switch to the finer stone to ease into it a little bit.
It's a little bit easier, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'd think you'd start with the fine, but no, you start with the rough and then the fine.
Oh, I see. Alright, so check this out. We were just looking at this one. So this is 20 thousandths taken off. So it's a 20 over bore, and you can still see that it has material that hadn't been touched. That's what that gray spot is. That's a low spot. So that means that that spot is over 20 thousandths over.
Yep. So the cutter didn't touch it, meaning it's probably like anywhere in between 20 and 40, hopefully.
Which is funny because when I measured it initially, I measured out about a 3 thousandths over bore, and then another 2 to 3 thousandths for the piston wall. So that pretty much math checks out right there. We're at 2. Keep going to 3, and that's probably going to take that out. So there was no chance I was putting this back together and just running it. It was going to burn oil no matter what. That's kind of why we're here doing this whole thing. So it's a good thing we caught that. And this is why you need to check your bores. And check mainly that top 3/4 area of the cylinder, because that's where the taper likes to start. That's a very, very good representation right there. You can't get much more. It's a good thing we're rolling it. It's good. It's all going to be still. It's going to be nice and tight holes. Ready to put this fat steamy thing in the steamy box.
I guess we'll see if I ate my Wheaties this morning.
Dude, you want some help?
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can do it.
Oh, brother. It's not dropping on the ground now. You sure you don't want some help? This is a 460. This isn't a small. Oh, okay. Okay. Ethan's back. Ethan definitely ate his Wheaties today. Bro just manhandled a 460 like that.
Good night.
So how long is that thing gonna bake in there? Like half hour, 20 minutes, 5 minutes?
I usually bake it for like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So just leave it in there. We'll polish the crank in the meantime.
Oh, there we go. And then after that, as this damn plane goes by, because we're by Miramar, we're gonna get this thing in the honing machine, and then we'll finalize that bore. We have 3 thousandths to go, and we'll test it. We'll get it fitted correctly to the forged piston. Like I said earlier in the video, the expansion rate of a forged piston is gonna be a little different, so we wanna make sure this is perfect. All right, made our way back further into the engine room. If you ever need a core crank, maybe some miscellaneous parts you might need, go up to the counter in JVA and ask them what you need. They might have something in the back off another project that's been sitting. I lost the crankshaft. I ruined the mains in my Fox body 2 years ago. Came here and I got a core crank for pretty cheap, so you never know what you might find. But we have the crank balancer machine. This basically, you just set the crank in this thing, spins it over, and then we've got this little polishing wheel that kind of rubs over it, and this will get any nicks or crannies off this crank. This is a used crankshaft that I'm running, so everything was off marketplace. It's not anything brand new, nothing crazy. So you have the crank right there? Yeah. So what we're doing now is we're gonna mic everything up, and then from there, we'll be able to just go ahead and polish it out and just make sure there's no scratches on everything, and then we should be able to measure for bearing clearance once we have the actual bearings. But
2.4999.
which is what it should be, right?
Yeah.
So it's right on the money, which is good.
Let me check them.
So anyway, you don't have to cut it, which is good. I was worried it was gonna be like 10 under or something crazy, and I've got some like 30 thousandths bearing clearance. Gotta run like honey oil in it to keep oil pressure. I wasn't really looking forward to that. So the good thing is, it looks like the crank's still good, because the guy I got it from, it said it burned oil, but out of the rings and the cylinders. So the rotating assembly should be good, which it still is, which is nice. And it's showing that, which is nice.
Yucky.
Oh wow, that looks better already. Ah, steamy boy.
I'm gonna still run it in there for a while, but we probably won't get to honing it today, but we're gonna get it ready to hone for tomorrow.
That's good. That's really good, dude. I appreciate it. Nothing like water in your blocks, making sure they grow big and strong.
Yeah, this is how you get a stroker.
Oh, is that how that works?
You gotta water the block, and it gives you bigger cubic inch.
Nice. I already know. These are real racetrack tricks.
Yeah.
Jesus. Ew. Dude, look at all that smooth.
It's getting better though, it's not as dirty.
No, it's okay.
I'll try this side now.
Oh yeah, brother.
Oh, there's poopy in there.
Should be close to piston size now. See that fucking, like I said, the right exact fucking piston size.
Alright, we got this thing in the hone, went from the main bore over here to get our initial size all the way 2 steps of 20 thousandths, so 20 and then 17 thousandths. That'll put us at 37 thousandths, so we'll do those last 3 in here, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you can fine tune it. So you have a rough stone and then a fine stone.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're starting off rough.
I already did the rough already, so I'm doing the fine. So I did the rough on this bank. All I have about to take out is like 2.5 or 2 thou. But
so this is swinging like crazy, you got a taper for it.
yeah, if you want that needle to stay as straight as you can, that's pretty good right there. My goal here is, so I set the dial bore gauge, the piston size is 0, and we want 3 thousandths no wall clearance, so I'd have to hone it out from here all the way to here.
Yeah.
But when you hone it, the cylinder expands whenever it gets hot because this creates a lot of heat because you're basically, it's just straight up friction.
Friction, yeah.
So it'll expand, so I always shoot for 0.5 thousandths more because I've seen most of the time it shrinks 0.5 thou once it cools down.
Got it.
So we're about 2 3/4.
Probably one more pass then, huh?
Yeah, I should be able to hit it on this next one. Might need another go, but it should be close. I know it'll be above 3. When it gets to this close, I like to stop a lot and check and stop and check.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you know what? Look at that. Boom.
Yeah, right at 3.5.
Yeah, not bad.
And straight too.
Yeah.
That's why you go up and down it.
It could be like, you know, I try my best to get 3/10 off, but this machine, you know, it's from the 70s, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
only be
really
2/10 off.
So now you got a straight bore, it's 40 over, it's got 3 thousandths piston on the wall, so everything will go in, it'll be one solid unit, so that should be pretty nice. Finally, no more tapered bore. Come see Ethan if you want your bores straightened.
I'll straighten you out.
Dang, look at the stance of this man. Looks like you're sending it a little too hard there, bud.
Yeah, I sent her a little too hard there.
Yeah, and you're shifting it at like literally 8,000 RPM
Yeah.
onto the street.
I don't think I'll do it on the street anymore.
Oh, really?
Running a little rich, but still running good.
God, it's crazy how much that spring moves down. This thing's got a lot. What's the lift on the cam?
It's 627.
And that's at a 289, that's big. It's a big little cam.
It's a big little motor.
Yeah, it is. And it's still, isn't it like technically 290 cubic inches or?
Yeah, it's bored over, not because I was like trying to go maximum effort. I
Yeah.
bored it, it's just where it needed to be cleaned up at.
And it's 30 or 40?
It's 40, so it's
Yeah.
a 294.
But it's still a 289.
289, it's still got the stock crank and rods in it.
That's cool. It's the same thing, pretty much the same thing as my truck, just solid roller and a little smaller. But it makes the same amount of power,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild.
Picked up a little bit of torque when I did the solid roller too. It used to only make like 360, and it picked up 10 foot-pounds, but not just in one spot. It picked up a lot, pretty much
Yeah.
the whole curve.
All the way around, yeah. And it's a pretty linear power curve, huh? All the way up to like 7,600.
The torque is like all right, but it doesn't start making like any real power until like 4,500 or 5.
Jeez, you really gotta spin this thing.
Yeah.
It's a fun little time bomb. Yeah, that's the valve.
We're gonna see if it's bent.
Send it so hard he's kissing valves, and you probably had plenty of clearance when you measured them the first time, huh? When you break a spring, the valve just likes to be, you know, float wherever it wants to go. But you're lucky you didn't break the other spring, then it would have been hitting a lot harder.
Double trouble.
The funny thing too is you were mentioning that you even have extra valves, so if you had to, you could just pull the head and change the valve real quick.
Yeah, well, yeah, real quick.
Yeah, real quick. You said it was real quick, it was like a 4-hour job. You got them holes all cleaned out?
My specialty.
Oh yeah. That's a nice block. A lot better. Block is secure. Maybe. I'll get it later.
Yeah, that's alright.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Alright, now picture whatever's going on over there. Gotta go drag racing in like 4 hours, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Probably not, but.
Either way, appreciate it. If you guys need anything, you know where to find him. Go over here. Go bug this guy, tell him I sent you, and then he can straighten your holes.
I'll straighten you out.
You got it or anything else?
Maybe get the tire out of the way? Nice. Alrighty, so we're back from the machine shop. We have everything we need to build a motor. So that's the one thing I want to point out is everyone's probably like, well, I can't find Facebook Marketplace deals like you can. You might be able to find a motor that doesn't suck. I couldn't, so that's why I resorted to doing that. So if you don't want to have to build an engine, just start by maybe finding a good $500 running engine. Start there, you don't have to do anything. But if you do want to do a budget build, I'll show you guys how to do a cheap engine build. This will be all brand new, running good. It'll make over 400 foot-pounds of torque. It'll be a monster. I'll be able to tow a trailer with this thing like nobody's business. And this is how we're gonna do it. So we got everything set up from JBA. I have the invoice from them. I will go over a full price breakdown on this setup. Once this entire budget build's done, we're gonna go over every single invoice, how much it costs, lay it all out. I spent about 1,100 bucks at JBA getting everything done. That includes the parts and all of the labor. So what we ended up doing on the block entailed an entire deck and hone. So if you look underneath on the deck surface is completely cleaned. On top of that, we've chamfered the tops, and then we've bored this thing from standard all the way up to 40 to match those pistons. I brought Ethan the pistons so he can measure for piston to wall clearance. This thing got entirely cleaned, it got tanked, it got washed out, all the freeze plugs got taken out of it, and everything in between, it's all clean, it's all ready to go, so the block has been prepped. On top of that, we had to order all of our rings and bearings. We have all of our bearings. Like we said, we polished the crank, so that was another thing that we did. I just went ahead and polished it out instead of cutting it. It's still good, you can't feel anything. This is all of our rod bearings, this is our main bearings. These are both standard. Like I said, we did not cut those. On top of that, I have a set of Hastings rings. These are 40 over. On top of that, my good friend Martin was nice enough to donate this. This is what I recommend you do if you are trying to build something on a budget, is ask friends that have parts lying around. It's pretty much what I did. Put a post out. My timing cover was rotten out, so Martin had this timing cover as well as this pump sitting on the shelf. But this is something like you could find a timing cover in a scrap bin. You probably don't need it. And then with the pump, you know, pump's 60 bucks. Like I said, you could probably find someone that's building a similar motor to you that has parts. The whole point is I'm trying to suggest you guys go and get used stuff. Get stuff from your friends, get stuff, dig in their garages, dig in their shelves. You'd be blown away how much money you can save just by getting stuff that's either used secondhand or just sitting in the back of a shelf. A lot of people don't even know they have. You can get it for way cheaper. The thing I did definitely buy brand new is the cam kits. This is the cheapest 4x4 setup torque cam that I could find on the market. So I went on Summit Racing and I picked this thing up. This is an Extreme Energy. I believe it's the Extreme Energy series. It's a 262H-11. So I'm gonna go over most of the cam and everything a little bit more in depth when we're building the thing. But you can see it's a 514, 524 split, and then a 218 at 50 with a 111 LSA, so lobe separation. So this is a very grunty cam. It's gonna be good rough idle. It's gonna pull good off the line. It's gonna tow really well. It's really what I want. This is gonna be the polar opposite to that truck. It's not gonna do any of the crazy high RPM stuff that one does. It's gonna be totally opposite. It's gonna rock crawl. It's gonna go in mud. It's gonna tow. It's gonna do everything four-wheel drives do. So it'll be perfect. But you can see it's a flat tappet, which is the one thing I wasn't really the biggest fan of. But I mean, when you really look at it, roller lifters compared to flat tappets are 3x, 4x the price. So maybe down the line we'll change them. For right now, this just makes sense in the budget. It's cheap. This entire cam kit was not, I think it was like just about 400 bucks. So I'll put the actual price of what this cam kit. You can buy it on Summit. This kit comes with the lifters. It's the cheapest way to do it. If you bought them separate, you're gonna spend 100 bucks more. The way they package them, it's just the cheapest way to do it. So that's what I did. But yeah, everything you can see here, I'm under $2,000 in this entire engine. That's the one thing I want to point out. So everything here that we should have to put this thing together, I got to go through the cylinder heads. It's the next thing I got to do, which you'll see in the next video. So this entire thing is going to get built in the next video. We'll go over the entire rotating assembly and put the short block together. and then we'll basically start building our own engine from scratch. I'm pretty excited. So hope you guys wanted to enjoy it a thing or two. Drop a like on the video if you did go on to enjoy it. Grab the merchandise at nonitspeedcompany.com. You can check out the Patreon if you want to see this stuff ad-free and before anybody else. And you want to get in on the action of this setup specifically, I will have a build sheet for this entire thing when it's all done. With that being said, see you guys in the next one with the Highboy. Later, guys.